Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I'm halfway through my week, just been working with a team. Big days, lots of really fascinating conversations. And one thing that emerged from today's conversation was around naming a process. And I said to one of the participants, I just love naming things. And even on the drive home this evening, I'm thinking, what can we call this thing? And so many different ideas have come into my mind. I guess I wanted to share probably a few different ways I like to think about naming and some clarifying questions that I asked this participant basically around what is a process? What's the outcome of the process? What's the vibe of the process? What do you want to, what sort of energy do you want to create around it? So that just find out a bit more about what it is, what the outcome is, what experience you want people to feel when they hear it. And then hopefully I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning with the answer. I guess sometimes what's really sad now I'm seeing in 2025 is people just, when they want to name things, they go straight to ChatGPT, straight to AI to do it. And often the names, I haven't seen any real kick-ass names come out of that process. You hear a name, you're like, yeah, that sounds like it was created by AI. Often the best titles are from, word association, maybe parallels with the word. There's a few different ways. My favourite naming example happened earlier this year at the Vitality Law Australia Strategy Day that I was hosting for Sarah Stoddart's amazing company. Now, I've mentioned Sarah a million times on the show, but yeah, the best thing that happened was I was sharing examples of naming things, and then about an hour later in conversation, something happened and Sarah said, calm the farm, da-da-da-da-da. As in, calm the farm is an Australian phrase for just, calm down. CALMTHEFARM. But Molly, one of her amazing employees, is like, hang on, that's a name for your podcast, Calm the Farm, PHARM. And that's there's no way that ChatGPT in its current state, not to say it won't in the future, could have created that. It's just the best title ever. And so a few things, when I think of naming things, and by the way, that's my air fryer going off in the background. So I guess a few things that I like to consider when naming things is, one is a portmanteau. What a portmanteau is two words mashed up together. So my favorite portmanteau was created by Jenny Blake, and that was friend touring. But I remember early on during 2020, I thought I created the phrase Zoom teague, as in Zoom and fatigue. I saw it being used elsewhere, so not that original, but yeah, that's another example of a portmanteau. Then there's alliteration. So for example, first time facilitator, the two Fs is when you had the same first letter in multiple words. So alliteration, it kind of just sounds nice. Then rhyming is also good. So Leanne on demand. It doesn't rhyme precisely, but it does, and it's quite memorable. Another idea is to just put your name at the front of it. So my red carpet experience, I call it Leanne Hughes' red carpet experience. The other thing I like with naming is actually just using the words that people use to either describe their problem. So just being very clear about it, not being clever. So the 2-hour workshop blueprint. And that was a phrase that a lot of people were asking about in my Facebook group. Hey, how do I run a 2-hour workshop on da-da-da-da-da? And that the 2-hour theme just came up all the time. And so hence the title of that book was just kind of learning the lyrics of the audience and replaying it back to the group. And often the way that your client describes an issue could then end up being the product or the service name or the offer as well. I just enjoy it. And even the service that I put out on a whim a couple of months ago was Roasted by Leanne. And that's just taking a contemporary phrase that's kind of trending and just using it to describe. So Roasted by Leanne is really around just me providing feedback on a service. But the element of roasting kind of gives it that emotional edge. You know what you're in for. You're up for tough, frank feedback, which is more exciting than the word feedback, right? So you can really use words in an exciting way to make a product, a service, an offering really come to life. Because if you do it well, you weave in the experience of using that, and you front end the marketing, you front end the expectation management, because people hear that and they know what to expect as a result. Anyway, I better grab my dinner. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.